start the recording? Great.
Well, as I said, welcome everybody. Good afternoon to this meeting of Board of Commissioners. This is a hybrid meeting with colleagues here at headquarters, but also Carl and Lisa on the screen. Let's turn to the agenda then. Item 1, apologies for absence. I've got apologies from Brian Thompson, Dominic Meeker, Bridge van der Nair. Any other further apologies that I've not been made aware of that you'd like to note, please? I don't see any others. Brilliant, thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. I don't see Carl raising his hand, and there's no declarations of interest from me or from Baroness Wilcox. Everybody happy with that? We'll go then to item 3, chairperson's announcements. I don't have any. So we'll move to item 4, which is the substantive item on this afternoon's agenda. And I'm going to hand over to Suzanne, who's going to introduce the paper in Dominic's absence. I understand that Suzanne is going to cover the main substance of the paper, but if there are any questions around budgetary issues and procurement, then Lisa, you're going to pick those up. But I'll hand over to Suzanne.
Okay, thank you. So apologies again from Dominic that he isn't available today. So I'm presenting the report on his behalf. So the proposal being made is that His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services is commissioned to carry out an inspection of the service. We're requesting approval for a direct order contract to HMICFRS through publication of a voluntary ex ante transparency notice or a VET. Approval is also being sought for an additional temporary resource to support the inspection and the wider culture change and transformation programme. Commissioners will note that the Treasurer has approved finances for these actions. The proposed inspection would align the service with other public bodies in Wales already subject to inspections such as health, schooling and police, providing the public with an independent evaluation of our performance and commissioners with comprehensive assessment for judgment of improvement, as well as contributing and informing activities relating to thematic reviews. HMICFRS has carried out inspections for all 44 fire and rescue services in England since 2018. They're currently completing their third round of inspections. The programme has been developed in consultation with the fire sector and is designed to promote improvements with assessment of operational service provided to the public, efficiency of the service, and how well the service looks after its people. And the assessments are based on data, document reviews, surveys, face-to-face interviews and focus groups, as well as in-service observations. As well as identifying areas for improvement, the inspection would recognise and report on areas of strength and good practice on the same basis as English Fire and Rescue Services. I would point out a correction to the report at point 4.2. It states that a grade will be provided for the 11 topic areas. HMICFRS for us will provide the service with a narrative report and recommendations in respect of any areas identified as a cause for concern or for improvement. Given that it's our first inspection, we wouldn't be directly comparable with the latest judgment of fire and rescue services in England, who have a background of inspections being carried out, but just to point out, the report will be published by HMICFRS. This work would complement rather than duplicate the independent culture report from Fenella Morris KC, as it would add further context and insight on operational and people elements of the service. The inspection, as noted, HMIC would be looking to carry out the inspection as soon as possible to fit in with their ongoing programme. And that inspection would take place over 8 weeks with pre-inspection activities beginning 6 weeks prior. That would include provision of data and documents, as well as briefings and meeting arrangements. This would benefit the service in receiving timely feedback, and we would seek to facilitate this. Hence the additional request for temporary resource of a group manager and station manager or corporate equivalents for 1 year to support these activities. Acting as service liaison, and following completion of the inspection, they would support the wider transformation programme in their temporary roles. So in conclusion, the proposal would deliver a comprehensive, transparent assessment of the service demonstrating our strengths as well as opportunities for improvement.
Diolch fawr, Suzanne, for introducing the report. Are there any additional points that you wanted to raise, Lisa, from your perspective regarding the procurement process or the budget, or we'll just take the paper as read? You're on mute, Lisa.
Apologies, Chair. Take the paper as read.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, reflections from fellow commissioners or anybody in the exec team?
It was just noting about the publishing of the report by HMCIFRS. It's our report, so don't we publish it? I'm just raising that as a query.
I think my understanding is that it would be published on their website, but it would be ours, so we would be able to publish it. We could have those discussions with them. They would usually publish the report. It wouldn't be published alongside the English reports because it is on a separate basis.
Yeah, it's just a clarification, Chair, really.
Sure, I think that's something for discussion with the HMI.
Should the contract be
Should
awarded?
the contract be awarded, that is something that we could discuss with them. I think there is a distinction to be made. In England, those reports are published as the inspectorate.
Yes.
There's a statutory responsibility to carry out.
Yes.
This is a different, if we are to proceed, this is a different commission.
Yes,
It's a different
yes.
kind of commission.
Yeah.
We are approaching to look for data and a narrative that supports us, which is a very different scenario to the situation in England. So I think should the contract be awarded, there is an opportunity to discuss ownership of the report, but clearly it is our report as we will be commissioned, as we would be the people to commission it. Any other questions or queries from colleagues? Carl, please.
No, thank you. I did one point. I think the question around publication, I think, is absolutely the right one to have. Should we award? I think HMIFRS have different arrangements with other public bodies that aren't a part of the Home Office envelope. So, for example, in Northern Ireland. So I think there is definitely a discussion, and should be a discussion, should we award to them? Suzanne, am I right in saying that HMICFRS do all the inspections for both kind of police and fire? So they have that, both that data set, good practice, and understanding more broadly that others might not have.
Yes, that's right. So their remit was extended to fire and rescue in 2018. So yeah, they inspect constabularies in England and Wales.
So they have knowledge, Chair, of the Welsh.
And final question for me, Chair, if you don't mind. Obviously, you mentioned the capacity one and the additional resource to support that. I presume from the service that there will be some capacity challenges around senior leads, especially engaging with HMICFRS to support the inspections that come through whilst delivering all the change that we've got ongoing at the moment.
Yes, that's right. So as already noted, the experience that they have they would work with us on a schedule of meetings so that we could fit in with any other commitments that we have.
I suppose I just add that usual practice, my knowledge of how HMICFRS work is that they align themselves with a point of contact within the service to provide that ongoing support in the lead up to them beginning their inspections. So that's the resource that we're talking about, really, the resource to support all of the pre-work of pulling together documents, reports, papers, which then they will examine as a desktop examination if they were to be awarded the contract, and ultimately that would prepare them for their on-site groundwork that they would then do afterwards.
Thank you for that clarification. Suzanne, in conclusion then, I think it's really important the amendment that you noted on paragraph 4.2 with regarding single word evaluations. I've never been a fan of single word evaluations in other sectors that I've worked in. I think what we're looking for is a wider narrative rather than judgments of that kind. So that's really important. If commissioners are to agree the recommendations, that we note that amendment to the report. I don't see any disagreement from Carl or Debbie and myself.
No.
Thank you for that. Any further comments or questions or matters that members would, or colleagues would like to raise? I don't see any, so, sorry, Lisa.
Sorry, bit slow on the hand raising. Just want to confirm then that if whatever the decision is, we need to take an action on a potential VEET notice. So if you can just make that explicit for the minutes.
Bear with me, Lisa, you're one step ahead. Bear with me, you're jumping again. So can I draw Commissioner's attentions to paragraph 5 then, and the recommendations that are outlined in paragraph 5 of the paper? Are Commissioners content to accept recommendation 5.1?
Yes.
I don't see any disagreements. As Lisa has kindly reminded us, are we content to explicitly agree recommendation 5.2 relating to the VEET?
Yes.
Yes, I don't see any disagreements. 5.3 about additional resources that we will require internally. I don't see any disagreement.
Agreed.
And then 5.4, all agreed.
Agreed.
With that, then that paper is agreed and will be actioned by colleagues. Suzanne, very grateful to you and the team for pulling that together for us today. Let's move on then to item 5, reports for information. We don't have any on the agenda today. That then moves us to number 6, to consider items of business that the chairperson deems urgent. I'll make an amendment to that. Urgent or important, and I've been informed of one from the VEET. So we'll hear that now, please, and that.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And this is just to make Commissioners aware that as part of our estates rebuild and refurbishment programme, work will shortly begin at Newin Fire Station. And whilst this work takes place, it will be necessary for us to relocate staff and resources to a temporary site. Now, that temporary site has been identified, and this week the lease was signed on that temporary site by the Treasurer and Monitoring Officer, and therefore the remedial works to I'll pronounce this wrong, I know, Mamhilad House.
Highland.
Sorry, there you go. Thank you. Mamhilad House, the temporary site can now begin. So work will begin on that temporary site to enable our staff to have appropriate accommodation to move into, and then shortly after the work in Newin can begin. So just to bring that to Commissioner's attention.
Any questions for Stuart on that item? Carl, please.
Thank you, Chief. Just a query of what timescales for the actual redevelopment of the site, do you know yet?
I think Lisa's probably best placed to answer that question, Carl. She's got all of the timescales ingrained, I'm sure. So
Lisa?
Okay, so we're looking at decanting in around October time, crews, and then construction to start in November. And that's around about a 2-year plan for construction, because it is a complete raise into the ground and a rebuild, so quite a big project there. But this secondary accommodation that we've leased it for 2 years, £60,000 a year. There's some work that needs to be done to that now that the lease has been signed, to make it operational for crews, so they've got a comfortable and serviceable accommodation to see them through the next 2 years.
Thank you, Lisa, for that. Thank you, Chief, for bringing that to our attention. Hopefully that is good news that project is progressing and will be welcomed by both our staff and the community, that work is going forward. Brilliant. Any other items? I haven't been informed of any, so I will move then just to thank everybody for their attendance this afternoon and say that the Board of Commissioners will meet again on Thursday, the 29th of August at 10 a.m. in the morning. Thank you. Well, I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi all.